So I'm a little bummed out this evening. I discovered that my Spotify account was hacked over the weekend, actually. But I mean, I thank God it was nothing major like, a bank account or Social Security or, something important. But you still kind of feel a little violated when one of your anything is hacked or whatever account it is. Because, it's violating it. It's something of yours that's now compromised. Someone came in and took it. But yeah, it did kind of depress me a little bit, and I decided, or I was going to decide not to do any recording tonight. I was just gonna take it easy. But I did receive a box of international candy from a good friend of mine by the name of I want to say Ramon, but I don't think it's Ramon. It might be Ramon. I was saying Raymond before, so I really should have checked how your name was pronounced, and I apologize. But yes, I got a box of candy, so that definitely helped perk me up and cheer me up because I it was a nice surprise, and also got some encouragement from a couple friends who told me not to let this, keep me down, to keep going, to power through, to do your thing, because only you can. Or they're talking to me, so only I can. Um, so with that, I'm not going to let this setback stop me. I'm not going to give the hackers the satisfaction of bumming me out. I keep putting this off and putting this off, and for what? For what? If I don't do this podcast, who will? I will. I promised Raymond or Rahman a shout out, and he's going to get one. Plus, I can't get podcast sponsors with less than 10 episodes. So today, I stand for those who are marginally depressed, those locked out of musical luxury, and those with access to international candy. Today, we cancel the hacking. So let the podcast begin.
3SFX presents the indoob podcast with your host, T. Sterling Watson.
Good morning, Indubians. I am T. Sterling Watson, and this is the Indoob Podcast. Thank you so much for stopping by and pushing play. Now, we're just going to move on past that whole hacking nonsense because, yeah. Now, I will say it does throw a little bit of a curveball in the activities I had planned for this particular episode, but we're going to power through. Going to do what we got to do. I will apologize ahead of time. I probably will mention it a few times because it was so essential to this episode, but we're going to do what we can with what we have. But before I get into that, I do, like I promised, I want to give a special shout out to not just a shout out, but like an actual promotional plug to worldofmunchies.com. That is where I got my international snack box from, and it's a cute little box. Like I don't, they actually come in three sizes, and you can go onto the website worldofmunchies.com and pick what you want. It starts at $8.95, so I mean it's you get a box of snacks where you let me put it this way: you'll get snacks from like Japan or Korea or Russia. Maybe it might be Germany too. I don't know where all my snacks came from the box that my new friend uh, Rahman. I once again I do apologize. I really wish I got the correct pronunciation of your name, but I did not, and so now I'm probably just butchering it and calling you everything except for what it's actually pronounced. And it's probably something like Raul or something. And but no, I do want to thank him and his family. And I mean, Rahman, he's 11, so he comes home from school, he does his homework, and then he starts, taking orders and filling them out and stacking boxes and or flying across the country, not across the country, but across the globe, and running up into like Germany, like give me all your snacks, and then he takes them and brings them back to America and puts them in a big pot or cauldron or vault of all the other snacks he took from all the countries and takes a big scoop and puts them in a box and ships them out to people that and because that's part of the whole thing. You're not going to get the same snack each time you make an order, so that's a pretty cool part about the whole world of munchies. You're always going to get something different. So for those adventurous people out there, go check out worldofmunchies.com. Also follow them on Twitter at World of Munchies, and they're great. And tell them I sent you. Not that it's going to mean anything, but at least they'll know. So definitely check out World of Munchies, and thanks again, my little friend. And you're not little. I don't mean that like little, but I'm just impressed that you've started this business, and I wish you the best. And I will continue to get more candy for you. I thank you for the first box that you got me, and I will want some more. So in due time, I'm going to get some more because I've got to be eating better, especially after what I just had the other day, and people are still kind of judging me for the Halloween burger. But we're not going to get into that right now. Instead, I also want to give another plug to Verve House Collective or vervehousecollective.com. So please do check that out. What is Verve House Collective? It is a resource for creatives and creative entrepreneurs and those who live life on purpose. I'm assuming that is you, Indubian, dear listener. I'm assuming you want to live life on purpose. I'm assuming you have some kind of iota of creativity in you that needs to be fostered and nurtured and grown and encouraged. And that's what Verve House Collective is for. So please visit vervehousecollective.com, and you can also check them out on all their different social media platforms. There are a number of them. They're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they're on Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, and just check it out. It's great stuff. And subscribe too. There's a newsletter, the Pulse magazine, where you can get exclusive content and writing prompts. It's great stuff. Great stuff for all those creative people out there, like myself. So you might see something on my own blog, indoob.com, that is inspired by Verve House Collective. See, we all work together. So this episode is actually about music from 2014 because what always seems to happen at the end of every year, we always tend to look at all the best things of this past year, and then we move on to the next year and forget everything about what happened last year. Not always, but I purposely decided to wait to do my best of 2014 until later on in 2015, and here we are with what 2 months, 3 months left of 2015. So I do, or I have a list of 2015 albums, but yeah, because the way my Spotify is currently set up, yeah, we're not going to talk about that right now. Well, we kind of are, but not the hacking part of it. We're talking about 2014. We're talking about last year. There are albums from last year that I still listen to this year, but the way that we tend to be as a society, we are so consuming into what's going on right now, what's hot right now, that we forget what happened or the hotness that was last year. I mean, it's not that it's not hot anymore. It's just nobody tends to talk about it or listen to. And I just wanted to give a little attention to that because it's still awesome. So let's not forget about the past, and in fact, let's dive into it. And the way that my list works, because I've tried to do this every year and explain why what you might think is the top whatever isn't the top, and this is why. Well, it's my opinion. It's my podcast. Leave me alone. But no, I'm going to explain to you why I picked each song, or not each song, but each album. Some of it's a little bit more biased, and even now, as we're like almost on our way out of 2015, I probably would even revise this list. But the point of this list is it was made at the end of 2014 with all the music that I had listened to up to that point. So There are albums that have come out in 2014 that I didn't listen to until 2015 that I'm like, wow, this album's amazing. I'm listening to it all the time. Why didn't I know about it then? But hey, I know about it now, so that's all that matters. So let's get into the list because I'm babbling too much about list and not actually talking about what's on the list. And I'm trying to stay on task and stay on schedule. I got things to do. So number 20. Yes, we're going to start with number 20. This is the top 20 of 2014. Number 20 is the Wu-Tang Clan, A Better Tomorrow. Now, let me stop here. Now, first of all, I'm not sure if people knew that Wu-Tang Clan even came out with an album last year. And then I know there's other people like, I didn't even know that Sterling listened to the Wu-Tang Clan. I do and I don't. I listened and enjoyed their first album. I didn't really listen to the albums that came after. And then I listened to this album. Now, I don't have any particular favorite songs. The ones I've listed, maybe out of 20, I've listed 11 albums and their song titles that I really liked. I really like this album, but I don't have any listings to provide for you, like any like, oh, check out this track. I don't. I'm sorry. I say that though because the entire album is pretty good. It's pretty amazing because it's the Wu Tang Clan. Come on. So listen to the whole thing. I don't have any particular tracks to point out to you. I'm sorry, but then again, if I did have Spotify, and I probably could have like, oh yeah, that one probably would be my favorite. But yeah. So we're just gonna move on to number 19, Leela James, Fall for You. Now, Leela James, I've actually been a fan of for quite a while, and she's every time I see her, I think every time, but most of the times you kind of identify her for her big afro, which is just just so I just love it. Just it almost it's what defies her soulful just exuberance. I don't know. It just she feels and sounds like she stepped out of the 70s with the funk and the soul that she brings. Mostly more soul than funk because to me there's a difference. But it's just raw. It's just natural, and I love it. And I love her voice. She sounds much older and more matured than what she actually is, and I think she's probably around like 30. But I like I said, I've listened to her for a few years now. So when she first stepped out on the scene, she may have been, I don't know, 12. I have no idea how old she is, but she definitely doesn't sound her age, and that's one of the things I like about her because she can sing. She is good. Um, and again, I apologize. I don't have any particular tracks to point out for you on this particular album, but I do thoroughly enjoy the album. Um, I admit I don't listen to it that much nowadays, but I definitely would. I have no qualms with pulling it up. I'm like, oh, let's listen to some Leela James. I do prefer probably her first album though, but hey. Number 18, Lecrae, Anomaly. Now, once again, no particular songs to point out, but I do enjoy the entire album. Um, I think probably just discovered him probably within the not last year, maybe the year before, and people were even surprised. I was like, "How do you not know about Lecrae?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know about your face." But yeah, even my insults didn't work out that well, but it doesn't matter. Listen to it now. I'm a huge fan, and yeah, it's a great album, and I listen to it. I can listen to it front to back, like most of the albums here. If I were to actually pick out any of them, I think I would let you know. But then again, I couldn't even tell you what song I would skip because I don't have Spotify. Yeah, but Lecrae is definitely good, and I would listen to the whole thing. Number 17, Donnie McClurkin, Duets. Now, this is one of those songs that I actually did write down the song, or not song, this is one of those albums that I actually wrote down the song for, and that is We Are Victorious. That is probably the my favorite song, maybe the only song that I actually go back and listen to repeatedly. In fact, I probably listened to it so much that lovely Spotify had probably picked it as one of my top songs for 2014 because they have lists that do that kind of special thing. It's real nice, real special. And but yeah, I think that's probably why I decided to put this album even in this list. Now, the whole album itself is good. I do enjoy it, and the people that he has duets with, because it's called duets, so I might sing it with another person. Um, but I enjoyed that one because of We Are Victorious. And at number 16, we have Ray LaMontagne at Supernova. Once again, probably pronouncing his name wrong too. But Supernova, nonetheless. Supernova is also a song on the album that I actually really like. And so is Oh Hi. And I think maybe Airwaves. I might have overplayed Airwaves, so I'm not a fan of that anymore. But check it out. I do enjoy the whole entire album, but those songs in particular. It's actually probably one of the albums I would skip a couple songs, but I can't think of what they are. So we're just going to move on to number 15, which is Prince, Art Official Age. It's stylized, so it kind of, all those words are broken up. But, I mean, it's Prince. So there really isn't a particular song in this album that I liked or disliked. I actually honestly, only listened to it a couple times, but it's Prince. I can't not put him on the list. And I will say you won't find it on Spotify anymore because he is mostly a title artist. So good for him, I guess. Um, yeah, actually did release another album recently, which I have not heard because it only is exclusive on Tidal, I guess. I think it's also CD, but I mean, do we buy CDs anymore? So there's that. Number 14, Molly Music. Molly is. Uh, Molly Music is the artist's name. Molly is dot 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 is the name of the album. Now, I do have one particular favorite, and that is called Heavy Love. That is a very like it's got a really good driving starting bass, and it's just I mean the whole song is great. The whole album is great. It's very positive. It's one of those albums that feels and probably be considered like a gospel album, or at least contemporary gospel, or um, contemporary Christian. Or urban Christian. There's a whole plethora of genres where this falls under, and I can't think of the exact term because it gets broken down into Grammy terms, and you get Grammys for having these all these genres. So yes, that's what this is, and that's kind of what I like about it is because it doesn't quite sound like a traditional gospel album because it isn't, and it's just great. It's just really great music. But Heavy Love is definitely the song I would pick and song I listen to the most even now. It is still a top song of mine. Number 13 is The Glitch Mob. Love, Death, Immortality. Now, The Glitch Mob is, I guess, would be considered EDM or electronic dance music. Um, I don't know, but a lot of times when I hear them, it's usually behind a commercial or a movie trailer, sometimes in a movie or TV scene. You can probably still hear them in the movie trailer for Sin City at Dame to Kill For. At least that's where I heard one of these songs from. But actually, it could be that, or maybe it was probably a phone commercial. I'm not sure anymore. But either way, the entire album is just great to listen to. It's great to work to, great to work out to. Um, Probably rap to. I don't know. It's because some of these instrumental uh, albums, and I don't really mean just instrumental album, but I just mean albums that don't have vocals to them, are good for such things like that. So if that's what you do, check it out. Number 12, Michael Jackson, Escape. Now, once again, because it's Michael Jackson, that's why I added this to the list, but also because of the song A Place with No Name. Now, I do like this song, even though there is a lyric that really just blares out to me and just stands out that, like, I just don't believe you. First of all, I know Michael Jackson is dead, rest in peace, but if there's a line where he's changing a tire on a car or his car is broken down and he's trying to find out what's wrong with it, I don't believe that. I just don't. But other than that, the song is awesome. That particular song. I do like other ones, but that one in particular is my favorite. I'm not a fan of the album cover because of the thing that he looks like he's wearing, which I think it's more of an art design of him being or escaping into this hole, or maybe his sweater is eating him alive. I don't know. But it's Michael Jackson, so which can do whatever he wants even after death. Number 11, The Preachers. Spelt like creatures, but with a P. Blue Planet Eyes is the name of this album, and there's actually three songs that are my favorite, and that Is This How You Feel? Somebody's Talking, and Cruel. Now, what I like about this album or this group or band, it's just, the way that they sound is just very easygoing, very, very free, very happy. Or maybe not happy, but it's different. And it just feeds my musical side, the things I need to hear, and just, I don't know, just really enjoy it. I love the lyrics. I love just the instruments, the way everything goes together. I can kind of say that about all of them, but the Preachers or their Blue Planet Eyes is an album that I actually do listen to pretty frequently. So sometimes I look at this list and I kind of like, wow, I really could revise it and bump it up to somewhere in the top 10 because I've actually still listened to it that often. But it's at number 11, sadly. But as we're at number 11, we're actually going to take a break and we're going to come back and we're going to finish out with the last 10 of the list, or last top 10 of 2014 near the end of 2015. So we'll be right back. Hey, this is DJ Joe Daddy, not Joe Daddy. Bring you the hits you missed or ain't never heard. Y'all gonna hear right here on WIDB 129.5. Hey! Now I know it's been a while since I've been around because, I don't know, Brother Sterling Man trying to hold it back. I don't understand it either. I don't get it. Somebody calling your boy up. Talk to him about it. I don't understand. I don't. But while I'm here, I'm gonna give you a song right now. Straight from Curtis Mayfield. Soul Brother, for real now. Now, take a listen right here. It's a medley. I don't know when I'll be back, but I'm trying to get you something good. So sit back, enjoy, and hey! Because this is WIDB 129.5. Hit it!
Ladies and gentlemen, Curtis Mayfield.
Darkest of night with the moon shining bright. There's a set going strong, a lot of things going on. The man of the hour has an air of great power. The dudes have envied him for so long. Oh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune by and by. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. Ah, ah, ah. On the west side there's a storefront space. Down in the basement of a secret place where people that don't mind, 'cause everybody's got time. Everybody's got time. Oh, close relations with the people you know. Kinda funky, but you don't wanna go. Happy for the love I found. We're celebrating all over town. Hold on, baby. Let me take you higher, higher. Shuck it, funky, set my baby on fire. Soul music's so pretty when you're living in the city. I guess I'll always feel the same. Love is strange. Oh, P.S. I love you, baby. I wouldn't have it any other way. As long as there's been a night and day, it's been you and your crazy ways. I love you long as I can remember. Your precious love's burning ember. Together, baby, how can we lose? Always been to me, baby. A long time friend, been a long, long winter that we'll love again. Hush not, child, and don't cry. Your folks might understand you by and by. Just move on up toward your destination. Though you may find from time to time complication. Who are darker than blue. We like to just lay another version to you. Trying not to offend anyone, but basically telling it like it is. We're a winner, and never let anybody say, boy, you can't make it, 'cause some people mind is in your way. No more tears do we cry. The black boy done dried his eyes, and they're moving on up, moving on up. Lord have mercy, we're moving on up now, moving on up. There'll be no more Uncle Tom. At last that blessed day has come, and we're a winner, and everybody knows it too. We just keep on pushing, like Martin Luther told you to. And I don't mind leaving here to show the world we have no fear, 'cause we're moving on up, moving on up. Lord have mercy, we're moving on up, we're moving on up. So people get ready, I've got good news for you. How we got over like we're all supposed to do. Let us all say amen, and together we'll clap our hands, 'cause we're moving on up, moving on up. Lord have mercy, we're moving on up now, moving on up. Continue to be a winner, all of you.
Hello, Indubians. I'm Laura, host of Loudavision, the podcast for visionaries, artists, and creatives. On my podcast, I'm interviewing fellow artists trying to figure out how we can bring our creative vision to life without compromising our values, crushing our soul, and dying poor. Yep, that explains it. You can listen to the Loudavision podcast on lauramioli.com and connect with me on Twitter at Loudavision.
The indoob podcast.
And welcome back to the indoob podcast with the top 2014 albums. Wait, no, that came out wrong. The top 20 albums of 2014 or 2014. Whatever you call it. What do you call it? Do you call it 2014 or 2014? Yeah, I'm asking you. Tell me. Well, tweet it to me at INDOOB. Let me know. Anyway, we're going to continue on with the list. And right up next, we have number 10, Kiara Sheard with Graceland. I might be pronouncing her name wrong too, but I think that's how you pronounce it. Kiara. Okay, Kiara Sheard, Graceland, is another album like Molly Music where it is a gospel album but doesn't necessarily sound like a gospel album. Sounds almost more like a contemporary R&B album or just anything but, you know, what you might be akin to when it comes to gospel music, which is what I like. So it's different, and there's a whole bunch of songs on here that I like, so I can't pick out just one. And part of that is because I don't remember some of the titles, but that's okay. Any title you choose is a good song. Trust me, it's good. And plus, I wrote a review on it, so kind of go back into the indoob blog, and you'll find that review probably about a year ago from now, but it's in there. Trust me. Number 9 is 5, or maybe V. Anyway, it's by Maroon 5, and I'm assuming the title is V, but it's also Roman numeral for 5. Is it their 5th album? I have to check. I don't know. But there are many songs on this album as well, but the one in particular that I really am a fan of is Sugar. I also do like the remix version, which is not on the album, but, you know, it's out there. And I am also aware that it's currently a song that actually is on the radio, so good for them. But yes, Sugar I'm a big fan of, and I am amused by a story that my friend who recently got married this year had told, that they played the song while they were cutting their wedding cake, and as I guess risque as the song is, I'm like, oh, people are listening thinking that the song is like talking about sugar and the sweetness of love and life, and no, it's not. But we're gonna move on. Number 8, Tessanne Chin. Count on My Love. Now, Tessanne Chin, if you remember, I think she won The Voice one year. If she didn't win, she was a contestant, but apparently that's where she have has gotten some fame from, other than fame on her own, because she is well worth the fame and she's been doing albums for a number of years. And I actually am a fan of her older stuff. It's kind of why she made it on the list this year, or for 2014. To I'm not saying that this album is not good, because it is good. It's just I still am a bigger fan of her older stuff. Now, Tessanne Chin is I don't know everything that she is ethnically, but her music is a definitely a fusion of like reggae and soul. It's just good. It's just good music, and I love her voice. Very soulful, and it's just enjoyable. She's one of those people I can listen to sing the phone book. I don't want you to sing the phone book, but if you did, and your voice sounded like hers, I I wouldn't be dismayed. So there you have it. Number 7, Pharrell Williams, Girl. Now this album probably is most famous for a certain emotion song called Happy. I I I like the song, but I don't like it anymore, because they play it everywhere on every radio station, whether in a store or at work. It doesn't matter. They just play it too much, and they need to stop. I mean, it's a good song. It's very uplifting. It's very happy, but there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. So they kind of killed it for me. Meanwhile, there are dozens of other songs on this album that are awesome, like the one he did with Justin Timberlake, which I believe is called Brand New. Again, I don't have the list in front of me. I didn't label that one out. But hey, it's a great album. Just skip over Happy. Unless you like Happy, then listen to it and dance along. Because I will admit, as many times I hear it, it is hard not to dance to it. So we're just going to move on, though. Number 6, Chromeo, White Women. That's the name of the album. It's just, and there is a white woman in looks like a white wedding dress. But another great album. Just, they are, how do you describe this band? I don't really know. I should know, but I don't. Um, Kind of electronica kind of music, but more singing than anything else. I mean, there's music. I don't know how to describe them, but they're awesome, and there's a lot of awesome tracks on it. There's one that they have with Solange Knowles, and I think that's an amazing song. I didn't write down the names for these songs either because I knew there were a lot of them, and I couldn't pick out just one, and that's kind of why I wanted Spotify to be around so I could listen to them. I was like, okay, yeah, definitely that one. Let's write that one down. But I didn't do that. Instead, I am recommending the whole album because most of these albums I listened to while I was at work, so I was able to do a lot of work and get things done. And these particular albums kept me moving, kept me going, kept me motivated. And Chromeo is definitely one of those albums where I just hit play and just let it go. And it was great. It was awesome. The same can be said for album number 5, which is Caught a Ghost. Caught a Ghost is the name of the band, and the name of the album is called Human Nature. Now, there are a number of songs I really liked, but the one I liked the most, the one that really stood out to me, the one that I discovered them by, is called Connected. You may have heard of it. It was played on a Friskies commercial, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, well, at least that's how I found it, but the song itself is amazing. It's just good. They are also just a very good band, or good group. They have billed themselves as a experiment. At least they did early on. I haven't been to their website since, but again, it's just a really awesome music. Just good. But Connected is the song that I am recommending off of that album to check out. So we are going to move on to number 4. Oh, by the way, we're in the top 5, so now we're on number 4. Magic with an exclamation point, kind of like Panic at the Disco. So hopefully Magic doesn't take exclamation point away because then it's just magic. But now, right now, they're magic. Whereas like the other ones, yeah, whatever. Don't Kill the Magic is the name of this album. It's actually also the name of a song, or a good song. And you know what? I'm gonna say I'm gonna recommend it. Don't Kill the Magic is also a good song on that album. Um, what probably most people know them for is Rude, which I believe is played a lot. At least it was in some of the stores I was working in. They played it pretty often. But the songs I am recommending, songs, two of them this time. Let Your Hair Down. It's a very, very mellow, very chill song. And No Way No, which isn't as mellow, but still kind of fun. Now, this band is, again, kind of a fusion, kind of reggae, kind of a mix of genres, which I like. So that way, you don't really know what it is, but you just know it's good. And you just want to hear it and listen to it all day. And I was on vacation last year, and I say that like it's a big deal because it is, because I don't take that many vacations. But last year in Myrtle Beach, just driving down the highway with this album playing, it was perfect because it's got the beach life on one side and the sunset, and it's just glorious, magical. But we're going to move on to number three. Number three is My Pay. I, once again, not sure if I'm saying her name right. Maypie? Maypie? Maypie. I'm going to go with Maypie. I think I like Maypie. Now, she actually did perform on Letterman, so he said her name, but I don't remember how he said it. But the name of this album is called Hey Hey. The song you probably know and most familiar with is Don't Wait. And I think because I play that song so much is why this album was bumped up to number three. Now, the rest of the album is also pretty good too. There probably might be like one or two songs I would skip, but overall it's a very listenable album. Like there's very little skipping involved, and when Don't Wait comes on, it's like, oh, that's my song, and you party out a little bit until it's over, and then you just continue to listen to the rest of the album, and maybe party some more because there are some party songs on there. I think, well, not like crazy party songs, but do you? Number two. Now, this album, number two, that I have not yet said, would have been number one if it was released probably a little sooner, or if I were allowed to revise this list maybe a month after, or maybe in January in 2015. But it is D'Angelo Black Messiah. Now, like I said, this album would have been number one because of how often I still listen to this album, and it's amazing. It is perfection. I don't know if it's gotten like a 5 star or five mics or five whatevers, meaning a perfect album, because it is. It should have been, and I don't know if it even won any Grammys. I'm not sure if it was eligible. I think it might have been. I'll have to look into it. But it is perfection from someone who has been away from the music scene for, I believe, 14 years at the time. And then he came back strong. He even performed on SNL, and it was amazing. It was brilliant. I loved it. Um, but as for a few songs, I can't even do a few songs. This is the quintessential album to listen to from beginning to end and then over again, without exaggerating. There's no skipping. Like, it almost should be banned from skipping. But if you had to go to certain songs, and I feel like I'm not doing the album justice by doing this, but um, Ain't That Easy, which is track number one, The Charade, which is track number three, Really Love, and Betray My Heart, and that's just four. Four out of, what, maybe 11, 12 songs? I mean, I'm telling you, the whole album's great. So if that one got number two, then you're probably wondering, well, what album is number one that would beat out D'Angelo only because of a technicality of time? Because that album came out, I think, like in the middle of December, or really close to the end of the year. So I didn't want to. It felt unfair to like, oh nope, this album's number one. I listened to it all year, and really it was like the last couple of weeks. So album number one would have to go to Hosier. I think once again, I think I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but Hosier, Hosier. I don't know. But that's also the name of the album, as well as the name of the artist. And he is amazing. I love his voice. I love his lyrics. His I don't want to call them puns because they're not puns, but the way he just plays with words and tells stories. It's great music. Just wonderful, wonderful music. From Eden is probably my favorite song on the album. I know "Take Me to Church" is probably his most popular, most famous song, but that's why I'm telling you about these other songs. And "Sedated" is another one. Now, I'm telling you again, this is another album. This is why it was actually very tough for me to choose. Like, okay, which one out of Hosier and D'Angelo, which one's gonna win the number one slot? Because both of these albums are great. I just can't stop listening to both of them because they're just that amazing. But that is my number one pick, and that is my top 20 albums of 2014. What's going to be for 2015? I don't know yet. I mean, there are dozens of songs from 2014 that I wish I could have added, but I didn't want to just pick a song, kind of like Danny McClurkin. I didn't want to just pick one album just for one song, even though I did that, but hey, it's my list. And the way I choose these songs, I tried to explain before is, or not choose these songs, but choose these albums in the order is how often I listen to them throughout the year and how likely I might be listening to them again in the future and how many songs per album I would listen to because honestly, I haven't listened to every song in every album all the time, but I listen to it enough. But definitely the first or the first two, Hosier and D'Angelo, all the way through, over and over again. Even to this day, I would still listen to them because they're that awesome. So that is my list for top 20 of 2014. Um, and that's pretty much all I have for you today. I want to thank you all for listening. And again, please check out worldofmunchies.com. Please check out vervehousecollective.com. And, you know, I guess that's everything. And you can follow me on Twitter at indoob. We're still doing the Fringe Friday, so please check that out. It's hashtag Fringe Friday. I'm saying fringe, not fries or friends. Fringe Friday. Yes, it's getting late. My voice is going away. So I think we're all set. So with all of that, I guess all that's left is just to tell you to remember that if the world didn't suck, we'd all fall off.
The Indoob podcast was recorded on planet Earth and is an extension of the Indoob blog found at indoob.com. You can subscribe and find more episodes on iTunes and indoob.podbean.com. You can also follow Master Sterling on Twitter at Indoob. I am not allowed. This is Bilford signing off, and this has been another 3SFX production.
Use your words, Chief. Good boy.